What happened when you became a threat to someone in power? I was at my desk when Nora called me sobbing. Calvin just accused me of stealing $50,000. Security is literally escorting me out right now. My stomach dropped and I grabbed my keys while she kept talking through tears. I drove straight to her apartment and found her sitting on the floor surrounded by termination papers. My sister, who'd paid for my textbooks when I was broke in college, was being accused of embezzlement. She showed me investigation notes she'd been keeping about weird account transfers she'd discovered. Calvin had told her to ignore them. Calvin called me the next morning with fake concern about Nora's supposed gambling problem that didn't exist. I knew Nora had never gambled in her life. She provided bank statements proving she never received any stolen money, but the company dismissed them, saying she could have other accounts. Calvin fast-tracked her termination without letting her access files to defend herself. The whole process felt completely orchestrated. Within days, Nora's life crumbled around her. Her landlord threatened eviction after getting legal notices from the company. Tom's parents pressured him constantly about their family reputation until he started pulling away from her. Former co-workers literally turned around to avoid her at stores. I found her staring at life insurance policies on her laptop one night and slammed it shut. 2 weeks later, Nora's shock finally turned to determination. We started digging through her old files together systematically. Nora suddenly remembered that Madison from accounting had requested her login credentials the week before she was fired for system maintenance. Looking through her emails, we found Madison's overtime records matched the nights of the suspicious transfers exactly. It wasn't much, but Nora's eyes lit up for the first time in weeks. We finally had something. Calvin showed up at my office when he learned we were investigating. Your sister destroyed her own life. Don't let her destroy yours too. The threat behind his words was crystal clear, but I told him I knew Nora was innocent. Things got much worse after that confrontation. The company sued Nora for damages. Every single interview ended the moment they called for references. Tom finally left, saying he couldn't risk his career. Someone wrote thief on her apartment door in permanent marker. I paid all her bills while she had panic attacks just checking mail, but we kept investigating anyway. We discovered more connections between Madison and the missing funds. Nora remembered seeing Madison leave the office late on those specific nights because she'd commented on it to a coworker. Checking social media, we found photos of expensive purchases Madison had made during that exact time frame. Nora also recalled Madison acting nervous whenever Calvin was around. All the pieces were finally falling into place. Calvin offered to drop the lawsuit if Nora moved to another state and signed an NDA. She almost signed it from pure desperation, but we decided to confront Madison first instead. I recorded everything while Madison broke down completely. She admitted Calvin made her transfer the money using Nora's credentials. He'd promised to leave his wife and said they desperately needed money for his divorce lawyer. She was trying to escape her abusive husband, and Calvin had seemed like her salvation. Now she realized he'd used her. We took all our evidence to the board of directors immediately. They launched a real investigation while Calvin paced the conference room denying everything frantically. When they found hotel receipts and evidence of the affair, he started screaming uncontrollably. She was trying to blackmail me. That's why I had to get rid of her. The board members stared at him in complete shock. One director shook his head in disgust at Calvin's admission. I felt relief mixed with rage watching him unravel. He just confessed to framing Nora in front of everyone. The consequences came incredibly swift. Calvin got fired and charged with fraud and defamation. Nora received full back pay plus 6 figures in damages. The company issued a public statement clearing her name completely and implemented new financial oversight policies. An industry publication ran the full story exposing Calvin's entire scheme. They offered Nora her position back with a senior promotion. She took a week to carefully decide while weighing all her options. The vindication felt good, but the scars ran deep. The apologies started pouring in immediately. Former colleagues called crying about how sorry they were. Tom begged desperately for forgiveness, but Nora simply refused. Even the neighbor who'd written on her door left flowers with an apology note. Calvin's wife divorced him and took absolutely everything. Last I heard, he was working at a small firm 3 states away.